guys, hi everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm Arving Gonzalez, and in this episode number 11 for the LIDOM report, we gonna talk about the first week of LIDOM. Today is an off day in LIDOM after 5 straight days of uh, every team was playing. And let's talk about the hot stars, both from teams and players, also the cold starts, some disappointing players, teams, and also some players that are according to expected, and another ones that have going beyond the expectations. So let's begin watching the standing, and for that I'm gonna be using a very good web page. Is called baseball data or baseballdata.com, and it's gonna be baseball in Spanish, and you can see it there. Let me just put it bigger and make a little zoom on it. So let's go to the home, and this was basically the first website in LIDOM. It began on 2011, so it's been 11 years. So it was the first website that made a really good presentation of the stats, both traditionals and some sabermetrics also. And the idea was from some friends. One of them is Arturo Ruiz, who is a friend of mine, and also baseball data or baseball data have been working with some of the LIDOM things. In fact, in the last, I think, 5 years, all the LIDOM champions have been using baseball data. And also in Puerto Rico, Criollos de Caguas, which was the team that Alex Cora was the GM last of couple of seasons ago, was also using the baseball data services. So let's get into it, and you can see there the standing is basically Águilas and Tigres, Águilas Cibaeñas and Tigres del Licey, leading the standing with 4 wins and 1 loss. And for Licey, they began winning the first 4 games, and then last night they lost their first game. It was in extra innings against Gigantes, and it was in the 12th inning that they lost. And also, now that I'm talking about the extra innings, there's a new rule that was implemented LIDOM, and is basically regarding the extra innings. So the ghost runner, or the runner on second base, which is being used the last couple of seasons in MLB since the pandemic, is now being used in LIDOM, and it began last Wednesday, I think, or last Tuesday. Yeah, last Tuesday, the 18th. And then that's basically the rule. I'm gonna go search it to tell you guys exactly what the rule says. Basically, the rule states that in games that goes to the 12th inning, the ghost runner on second base is gonna be there beginning in the 12th inning. In MLB, it's the 10th. In LIDOM, is gonna be the 12th inning. But when teams are playing double headers, the ghost runner on second base is gonna be beginning in the 10th inning. So that's the new rule. And let's keep talking about the standing. Estrellas, 3 wins, 2 losses. Also, Gigantes 2-3, and in the last place tied Leones and Toros. Leones del Escogido and Toros del Este with 1 win and 4 losses. Actually, the best streak is for Águilas, who have won 3 games in a row, and the worst streak is for Toros, who won in the opening day against Estrellas in their home in Estadio Francisco Micheli, but then they have lost 4 games in a row. And let's talk about Toros. Toros has been playing awful offense, and let's go into the stacks to support what I'm saying. Let's go to the offensive stats for the team. So Toros basically is the team who less runs have scored with only 8 runs in 5 games. That's basically less than 2 runs per game. And the next team have more than the double, 17 with I'm talking about Gigantes. So that's the first team. They are not hitting for contact. 158 is their batting average, and the league batting average right now is 217. They are not getting on base constantly. 238 is the OBP for them. Basically 61 points under the league average, that is 299. And the slugging also is depressing, 197. That's more than 100 points below league average, and also more than 30 points behind the next team, who are Leones. And basically the OPS is also the worst in the league, and that's the reason why Toros are not winning games, because their pitching staff is not doing that bad. It was doing better before last game that or the last couple of games against Águilas, but now they have the worst ERA with 5.44, and that's talking about starters and relievers. And when you go to relievers, 402 is also the worst ERA that they have. Their pitching staff is also being pretty bad, but that was mainly in the last 2 games that they played against Águilas. Their bullpen is being horrible also, with a 1.50 whip and 6.26 ERA, and they are striking out less than the innings that they have pitched and giving a lot of walks, and that's also something concerning for a team who was designing to prevent runs with big names on their starting rotation. Talking about Mike Fiers, also Julio Teheran. Paolo Espina is going to join later, but Ronald Bolaños, who have MLB experience with the Kansas City Royals, also has been there in the first week in the starting rotation. And also when you see guys in the individual aspect for Toros, is being something really disappointing. And here you can see Christian Adames with a 542 OPS, Danny Santana, who was making his debut with the team, also with an OPS of 476, Ruben Sosa, and also it's been awful, and Manuel Valdez, basically everyone excepting Brian Navarreto, the catcher, is being awful as a hitter. And there you have Mallet Smith, John Nogowski, Allen Hanson, and it's been a rough week for him. And today, Toros announced that they are replacing Mallet Smith and also Jad Reinheimer in with Vidal Bruján and Addison, who are gonna be ready to make their debut tomorrow for Toros. And tomorrow Toros is gonna be playing against Tigres in Estadio Quisqueya, the house of the Tigres del Licey. So let's see how it goes. And again, talking about Tigres and Águilas, things that they have been doing well, they are hitting a lot and they're having good pitching, basically what you need to win ball games. And also when we check their efficiency of defenders, Licey is almost is only behind Estrellas. It's in the second place with a 76 defensive radio, and Águilas are in fourth place. But when we check the batting staff, the best OPS belongs to Águilas with 785. They have hit 6 home runs. That's basically 1 home run per game, a little bit more than 1 home run per game. And behind them are Tigres. So Águilas and Tigres have been the top 2 teams in offensive terms. The most scoring runs are for Tigres with 34, and then Águilas with 28. And also the best batting average are for Gigantes, but in second place are Tigres and in third are Águilas. But more important is the OBP, and Tigres del Licey have a 345 OBP, and Águilas are in third place in OBP with 323. And yeah, also checking his their pitching staff, 204 is the ERA for Tigres, 280 for Águilas, second and third respectively. The leader is Gigantes with 191. And when we split it between starters and relievers, well, for starters, Águilas are leading with an outstanding 171 ERA. And there are some guys that have been working there. David Homburg, Juneski, Maya has been two of them. And in fourth place are Tigres with 249 ERA. And talking about the relievers in that aspect of the game, Licey is leading ERA with 172, and Águilas are in third place. And when we check FIP, which is basically the things that pitchers can control, Águilas are second and Tigres are third. So basically, it's been that they have playing above average defense and elite offensive and pitching staff. So that's basically the reason. And main guys that have been performing so well for Águilas and Licey. So for Licey, Eli de la Cruz has been awesome. He was named the player of the week, and he's been doing everything, hitting extra bases, getting base on balls, stealing base, playing good defense the second base. And I think he's been even above expectation because he's a young guy, 21-year-old I think he is, and it's his first experience in LIDOM. Even though he was named the MLB Player of the Year, I think LIDOM is a big stage for prospects to prove themselves. And at least in the first week, you can say that Eli de la Cruz was basically beyond expectations And another players for Licey are Ronnie Mauricio, shortstop prospect for the New York Mets. And let's get into it. Let's see the best hitter for Licey. So, 1.027 OPS for Ronnie Mauricio with 4 RBIs, 5 runs, 4 doubles, 3 of them he hitting in the same game, and he's been doing great playing in the shortstop for Licey, and that's something encouraging for a guy who is being basically blocked in the Mets system because of Francisco Lindor and Jess McNeil. But let's see how it goes and how can he develop his power so he can maybe move to the third base on one outfield corner. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. So those two players have been the best for Licey, and also I have to give you guys an update on Tristan Casas. He's been dealing with some soreness in one of his knees, and that's the reason why he haven't played in the last couple of games, in the last 2-3 games, in the last 2 games actually. And Licey released a statement saying why, and it was basically that a minor knee injury, and they are looking forward for him to play tomorrow, Friday, against Toros. And yeah, another interesting guy with Licey has been Nate Pearson. The 2017 first pick for Blue Jays has been really good as a reliever with the Tigres, throwing scoreless innings. He's looking like a little bit above the league right now, and with a good command. And I'm looking forward to see if they are gonna use him as a starting pitcher. I don't know if that's something that the Blue Jays discuss with Licey when they agree to send him to play in LIDOM. But let's talk a little bit more about Águilas. Águilas, as I already told you, has been playing really good offensive, and also his pitching staff, especially the starting pitchers, has been really good. But in the offensive aspect, Orlando Califte has been the best player. I already voted for him for the player of the week, and I thought he finished in the second place for that purposes. And you can see the stats for you guys who are watching the videos, and for you guys that are listening to the podcast. It's basically a 444 batting average with a 1,000 slugging. It's basically 2 homers, 1 triple, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, and 3 runs for the former San Francisco Giants player, and 1 stolen base too. But also Alexander Canario, who is making his debut in LIDOM, the Chicago Cubs number 9 prospect. He's hitting 385 with a 500 OBP and a 923 slugging. He has hit 2 homers, 1 triple, and 2 doubles. 1 triple and 1 homer with 3 RBIs, 4 runs, and also he has taken 3 base on balls. But the guy who basically stole the show yesterday was Yoenis Cespedes, who is playing back with Águilas 10 years after he made his debut in LIDOM before playing and signing at that time with the Oakland A's. And last night, playing against Toros, he hit a homer, 2 doubles, a single. He went 4 for 4 with also 3 RBIs, and he's batting 400 right now with 1,171 OPS. So I'm looking forward to see more of him as he get in shape, and that's something pretty convenient not only for him but for LIDOM, for the league. That there's a bunch of Mets players that are paying attention to the league because of him. Last night I shared the video of the home run in my Twitter account, and it have over 100k reproduction. So that tells you how much Johnny Cespedes is missed by fans. And yeah, let's talk now about Leones. Leones has been the worst team in LIDOM in this beginning of the season. 1 win, 4 losses. There's a team that doesn't have too many names, so Jimmy Paredes, Peter O'Brien, Cesar Puello, or Sandro Fabian are 3 or 4 of them, but that offensive is really bad. But because with Toros, you can say that they are underperforming. There are players there that have the tools to make the regression to the mean and perform better. But with Escogido, I don't think that's gonna happen unless they add some players. Today they added like 2 new, and one of them is a player who belongs to the Houston Astros organization, and that's Alex Degotti. Degotti was playing in AAA for the Astros, and he made his debut in 2021. He played a couple of games for the Astros that season, and he plays in the shortstop, second base, and also third base. And also another player who is close to make his debut is Pedro Severino, who was traded in the off season from Licey to Escogido. Joe Dunham, Alex Rodriguez's nephew, who made his debut with the Marlins, was involved in that trade, I think. Yeah, he was in that trade. Now he's with Licey. And yeah, those are 2 players that are going to be joining Escogido beginning tomorrow, Friday, the 21st. But they need really more. They don't have big names on native players, and they don't even have big names also in the foreign players. And that's really something concerning. Their starting rotation has doing well, but then the bullpen and also their defense is being the worst in LIDOM in the beginning of this season. And let's see what happens. I don't think that's a team that can compete with the other 5. That you can see the difference in the roster when you compare man by man. So that's something to keep an eye on. So tomorrow, let's talk about the games for tomorrow. So I already told you that Toros are going to be playing Licey at 7:45, but earlier at 7 o'clock, those times are Eastern times, Escogido are going to play Gigantes, and at 7:30, Águilas are going to play Estrellas. Let me see if I can find the starting pitchers for those games against Bengaleses. Sometimes they used to post against the names of the pitchers, but I don't think they have it. That's something that are gonna be for another opportunity. But yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching this video, for listening to the podcast, and don't forget to subscribe, give us a like. You can also in the comment section make your comment, what you want me to talk about, what you want me to analyze in the upcoming episodes, and let's see how it goes. Oh, something else. Águilas just announced their rotation for the next game. So tomorrow, Juneski Magic is gonna be starting against the Estrellas. Then on Saturday, Carlos Martinez is gonna be playing Licey against Licey. David Homer on Sunday against Licey also. And Osvaldo Vidal on Monday versus Escogido, and on Tuesday Marcos Iplan is gonna pitch against Escogido also. So if you can tune in for those Licey and Águilas game on Saturday, Sunday, because those are basically the biggest games in terms of rivalry or fans. And let me know later what you think about it. So thank you for joining me, and have a good one.